What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. The Lakers just pulled off one of the biggest heists. No, they pulled off the biggest heist in NBA history. I still can't fathom this stuff, but hey, we're going to help the Lakers with the rest of their trades before the trade deadline. Let's jump into it. And that brings us back to the spreadsheets. It always comes back to the spreadsheets on this channel. So I don't do this often, or really ever, where I go back and reevaluate a team again, because we already did a Lakers video here where we went and we broke it down and we made some moves. What did we do? We brought in Colin Sexton, Davion Mitchell, Vucevic, Valanciunas, Torrey Craig. Well, guess what? Now we've got Luka Doncic on the team. I'm still just baffled by this. If you guys are curious, let's just get this out here and everything. I'm done hearing the people trying to turn this into a positive. And you know what? I appreciate those of you that are doing it. You guys know I'm a big devil's advocate guy, right? Let's try to look at things from all perspectives. This was the stupidest trade I've ever seen in my entire life, and I'm not going to be nice about it at this point. This was idiotic by Dallas. And Lakers fans, just hats off to you guys. You know what? You guys win. You guys win it all. You have Luka now for forever. It does not matter what happens the rest of this season because you have Luka for the next 12, 13 years, and you just get to be happy. So I'm very happy for you guys at the end of the day because, you know what? Dummies don't deserve Luka anyway, so here we go. But this is what we're going to do in this video. The Lakers, as you can see just by looking at the center position, we've got some work to do with this roster, right? We've just got some things that we need to take care of. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick breakdown of the roster, and then we're going to head over to Fanspo, and we're going to mock out the rest of the trades before the trade deadline, with a goal being we can't mortgage everything this year, right? That's probably not realistic. And look, this season is a win already. Again, you have Luka Doncic, and what I don't want to do is I don't want to take away any long-term financial flexibility by the end of this, right? We want to maintain that by after 2 years, a lot of these guys are off the roster, right? LeBron, who it's pretty likely that LeBron won't be on this team after 2 seasons, right? I have to imagine by then, and you know what, I've been wrong about this before with LeBron, but have to imagine after 2 more seasons, he's probably done. So let's make sure we have financial flexibility after 2 years to where we can start building something around Luka. Rui's got 2 years. 2 years here. Austin Reeves with 3. I'm not tripping about that. Austin Reeves is a solid basketball player. Jared Vanderbilt, if we can get someone to take that contract, fair enough. Dalton Connect, we're fine with that. Shake Milton, he's not guaranteed any money anyway. Bronny James, maybe he becomes something by then. Funny enough, I was actually talking to some scouts and everything about Bronny James this weekend, but we'll get into it when we break down each of the players and everything. But let's just do a quick analysis of this team and the assets that they got right now. So somehow the Lakers still have draft assets after acquiring the second or third best player in the NBA at 25 years old. I'm sorry, Mavericks fans, you guys might just want to click off of this one because it's not going to be nice things to say. And I feel so bad for you guys. I feel so bad. I'm a Bulls fan, and I just lost Levine for nothing yesterday, and you guys quite literally lost Luka for just no reason. That is infinitely worse. But draft picks, we still have a second-round pick to use this year. That's cool. We can use that to go get us some players to help us be competitive this season. We still have this 2031 first-round pick. I'd prefer not to use that if we don't have to. I just don't know what other super win now player we're going to get, especially now with what players are going for in value. We saw what De'Aaron Fox went for yesterday, and yes, the Spurs were squeezing them quite a bit, right? The Kings just didn't have a lot that they could do, and they really only got 1.5 first round picks out of that. Maybe, I guess it's truly 2. They got the Spurs pick and they got the Timberwolves one. The Charlotte Hornets one is just a nothing at the end of the day because it's protected. So I just don't know what other star player is worth going out and getting right now. You're not adding Jimmy Butler to this team or anything like that. It just doesn't really make sense. So if we can hold on to this asset for down the line, that'd probably be ideal. I don't care about this second round pick. Like I said, the next 2 years, let's be competitive the next 2 years, and then we'll be prepared to rebuild if nothing else. We've got $1.6 million before we hit the second apron, so we're gonna probably try to avoid that as well if at all possible, because it'd be nice to play in the buyout market or something like that. If by the end of this video I could have an open roster spot to try to do that, then that'd be great at the end of the day. That'd be great. Or just to find some other free agent that's out there or something like that. Let's break down the roster itself. LeBron is LeBron. We understand that. Luka Doncic, you have Luka. He'll be back in probably another month and a half or something like that, I think. That's amazing. Yep, this is your new go-to star player. Awesome. Rui Hachimura, probably going to have to get moved in this video, not because he's a bad player. Like, Rui's a nice player, but we need to fix the center position. If there's one rule about having Luka Doncic on your team that the Mavericks figured out, and I think most of us knew right away, but then it took them a little bit to figure it out, is you constantly need lob threats around Luka, because that's a big part of his game, right? Is getting people on his hip. He gets into the lane and then he throws the lob, right? He's very methodical. He's very scientific with how he plays. And so you need that lob threat on the team. Is Jackson Hayes a lob threat? Yes, actually a very, very good one. But we all know that the rest of his game is quite lacking. So we need to get like some sort of center help, and Rui's probably going to be what we have to do to make it happen, because we do have some other depth at that position that we can go to if absolutely necessary. We have Dorian Finney-Smith, who, look, we just traded for him. We can't trade him again, so he's on the team. Hasn't been the greatest since he got there. I feel like I should pull up like the actual like statistics to confirm or deny those allegations that I'm saying about him right now. So can we pull up Dodo here on the season? Like, this is overall. This is two teams. I can't remember how to split this up into just like the Lakers or whatever. Does it break it up that way? No, whatever. Okay, well, I don't know how great Dodo's been since he's been here overall, but overall, like, solid player, right? We know he's a solid basketball player. He loves playing with Luka, so that's another reason to keep him. Austin Reeves, like to keep him if necessary, because Austin Reeves is a third option. Like, I can live with that. Like, Austin Reeves, solid third option on a team. Cool. Maxi Kleber is here now. Obviously, we can't trade him, and maybe if he comes back later in the season, we can use him for something, because why the hell not? Gabe Vincent, going to try to move him if we can, just not a needed player on this team. Jared Vanderbilt, he does have, like, value on the court defensively and stuff like that. Honestly, like, you could use him as a small ball center because he is such a good rebounder and he's a good defender, and you can use him into, like, some switch lineups and stuff like that, but if we can move him, that'd be great. Dalton Connect, obviously, we'd like to keep him if we could. Christian Wood, let's see if we can't throw him into something and get some money for him. Shake Milton, you don't have to trade him if you don't want to. He actually had a good game the other day. I believe he had like a 20-point game the other day. I actually like Shake Milton, and his money's not guaranteed each of like the next 3 seasons, so not the worst asset to have. Jackson Hayes, if you have to move him, that's fine by me. Obviously, we know he's not the greatest of players. Cam Reddish, not a high contributor either. We can move him. Markieff Morris, we just got him. A good vet to have on the team. And then Bronny. I told you guys, I talked to some scouts about Bronny the other day. You guys know I'm infamous for saying, no, there's definitely an NBA player in this guy, and like he's not there right now, but I could totally see this guy becoming like a solid NBA player that's like a 7th, 8th man on a team and being like a strong contributor on a night-to-night basis. And I was talking to some other scouts, like, yeah, no, we've actually kind of bought in on that as well. They're like, just like the size and the strength of him at like 6'1", and his intangibles are actually like really good. Like, he genuinely sees like everything happening on the basketball court. Defensively, he's been pretty nice. There were people posting those like videos of Tyrese Maxey like cooking him the other day, and like Bronny is in Maxey's mouth the entire time. It's just Maxey's hitting tough shots and stuff. So look, like, would he have made an NBA roster without LeBron? You know, this isn't the point of the video, by the way, but I see the potential in here. And if you're not, then I don't know, you're just a hater. You got a 6'1" dude that's that athletic and good defensively. I think it's interesting. Looking at the depth chart, we don't really have anything at the point guard spot after Luka. Funny enough, we were like, wow, the Lakers really need a point guard. Didn't think they'd go out and get the point guard. So there we go. We got Reeves and Milton. Like, that's fine. You got Braun. Don't connect. You can throw Cam Reddish out on the court, and I'm not tripping about it. Obviously, Rui's probably going to move. Dorian Finney-Smith, like, we're fine starting him if we absolutely need to. And then we have to address the center position, right? We absolutely have to address the center position. So if we go over to Fanspo, right, let's start thinking through some trades. So those of you that know me, right? Did Shams get hacked? Jesus. Oh no. Let's just try to move on. Let's bring the Lakers up here. JJ Redick's got his work cut out for him, doesn't he? He's trying to put a defensive team together with this too, right? So I don't prep this stuff beforehand, right? Because I want you guys to actually see my entire thought process as we go throughout this. We need to compile like a list of potential centers that are even realistic for us to go after that can also contribute to us winning right now. So let's just start going through teams. Like the Cavs don't have anybody for us, the Celtics don't have anybody for us, the Knicks, like there's Mitchell Robinson, but he's like hurt right now, and so I don't feel great about that. The Bucks don't have anybody for us, the Pacers need centers themselves, the Heat no, the Magic, like Wendell Carter recently signed, so he can't even do it. Mo Wagner's hurt. Goga Batadze is like out right now, so like they can't really help us out right now. The Pistons, is there like the beef stew's not the lob threat that we need necessarily. It'd be great to get a Duran. B-ball Paul's not what we want, so nothing there either. The Atlanta Hawks, Clint Capella's definitely an option. And at this point, now that Jalen Johnson's down, I would have to imagine they're trying to sell and stuff. I've seen some people saying Trae Young's going to get traded. Now, if that ends up happening, cool, come back to this video and say, wow, we talked about it there. So, I don't know. Okongwu would be cool too. I'm not sure they're looking to trade him as much as Capella. There's only 1 year left on the deal. Capella's a good option. So we'll come back to that. The Bulls don't have anything at this point. Oh, this trade makes me so upset. Let's just move on from that. The Sixers, they don't have anything. No, nothing there that's going to help us. The Raptors, Jakob Poeltl, I know is an option for people, but I want to get like an actual center that makes sense. If you guys remember when Luka first got drafted, they had DeAndre Jordan there for a little bit, and then they went to a more of like a spacing center, and that didn't work quite as well. And then obviously they got back to the Derek Lively, and then they doubled up on it with Daniel Gafford, worked way better. Nick Claxton, definitely an option, more expensive, and the Nets know they don't need to move him because they see him as a landing pad type player. So I don't know about that. Deron Sharp, not quite the player that I'm probably looking for in this one. Nick Richards would have been perfect for this team, by the way, once upon a time. The Hornets obviously aren't giving up Mark Williams. The Wizards, Rashawn Holmes and Marvin Bagley. Valanciunas, not quite what we're looking for. Maybe we'll come back to him as like a backup center later in this video or something like that. Maybe the Thunder don't have anybody for us. The Rockets don't have anybody for us. I know Steven Adams is a thing. You could go get Brandon Clark. I'd like him to be more of a rim protector, and that Santi Aldama would be cool. Hell, I'd even take Jay Huff, honestly, but I don't think the Grizzlies are giving up those guys for just nothing. The Nuggets, we know they don't have anything to trade. The Clippers the Clippers don't have anything for us either. We might have to go with Capella. This might be it. The Timberwolves don't have anything. The Suns don't have anything because we don't really want Nurkic. Dallas, maybe we call up Dallas and try to double down on. Could you imagine they then trade like someone else back to the Lakers? Like they give up like Derek Lively or something like that. I think there would literally be like an insurrection at American Airlines Arena or whatever. So the Kings, they just brought in Zach LaVine, my sweet prince. I wish the best for you. I really, really do. I feel like you just got traded to another poverty franchise though, and I feel so bad for Zach LaVine as well. Let's see, the Warriors. The Warriors have nothing to offer us as well. The Spurs, we know they don't have anything. The Trailblazers, they have centers. They have plenty of centers, and they need to move centers so that they can get Donovan Clingan on the court. Interesting. So there's Duop Reith. We don't really want him to be a starter per se, but there's Robert Williams, who he continues to be hurt, and I think they're even just sitting him out trying to trade him because they know he gets hurt so much. And then there's DeAndre Ayton. And I know, calm down for just a second. Let me think about this. DeAndre Ayton is a lob threat. He's athletic. Defensively, not the greatest, right? Makes a lot of bad decisions and stuff with the basketball. But there was once upon a time with the Phoenix Suns, before he got moved here, where, he was playing his role a lot better in that last year when they went to the finals or whatever. Then he got the big-ass contract. The Trailblazers don't want this contract. Like, that's very evident, right? DeAndre Ayton, you put him around LeBron James, you put him around Luka, you put him around JJ Redick, maybe they're the ones that finally activate all the talent that this dude has. We're going to remember DeAndre Ayton for a second here, because here's the thing, too. Like, they just want him off the roster more than anything else so that they can get Clingan out there. So we might be able to help them out if we can give them some financial flexibility right here. That could be an option. The Pelicans, we know they need some center help, so that's not an option. And then the Jazz, John Collins would be a cool in-between option. I know he's not a true center, but that could be a really interesting one. But the Jazz are going to be smart, and they're going to be stingy, and we don't have a lot of assets to work with, so that's probably not a team we want to work with right now. Okay, I want to make this DeAndre Ayton thing happen, because they might take our bad contracts as well. Let me let me think this out, right? What do we need to give them in order to make this happen? So they just want off the Ayton deal, most likely. What can we take from them in order to make this happen? So we just take Ayton from them, right? They don't need to play DeAndre Ayton anymore. They don't have to deal with it. They can get Donovan Clingan on the court right now, start doing things. That's a lot of money off their books. Okay, we have to send back Rui. That's for sure. We have to send over Gabe Vincent. That's for sure. And then that's not enough money. That's not enough money, right, in and of itself. So no, they need to cut another, or we need to cut another $6 million. So do we have to send? We have to send Jared Vanderbilt as well. That's where it gets tricky, right? That's where it gets tricky. So that's where we have to include the second round pick now, at the least. Which, look, this doesn't seem like we're giving them a ton right now. Like, Rui's a good player. Like, so they're just getting a good basketball player here, which they're so stocked up at other positions and stuff. Maybe this just isn't realistic. We're going to have to take back a player as well, or maybe two. So we'll take back like a Jabari Walker, who's just, I'm sorry, Trailblazers fans, he's not that good. So this trade works in and of itself. Yeah, financially, that makes sense. So what's the argument that we make here? Because we try to make these things realistic at the end of the day. They don't want DeAndre Ayton. He's in the way. They're paying him a lot of money. We've now split up this money between a couple people. They do have to take on the Vanderbilt contract, but at least now we've seen him play recently, and they're like, he's still good at what he's good at least. So $10 million for that, it's kind of whatever. You're still... They pay more money by the end of this is the problem. That's the biggest problem, and I don't know if they can justify that. They do get this second round pick for this year. What do they have as far as like draft assets this season right now? They just have the 1 second round pick from Atlanta that's protected anyway, so they're probably not going to get that. They'd probably like a second round pick going into this next draft, so I could see that being valuable to them, right? They get off DeAndre Ayton because they don't want to pay that money anyway. They've split the contract up into a couple different pieces. The Vanderbilt contract is a little bit long, though. And this would have to be under the presumption that they successfully traded like somebody else on this roster, right? Like maybe they found a suitor for Jeremy Grant or something like that, or maybe Matisse Thybulle is going somewhere else or something, because you don't want to take away too many minutes from like Denny. Denny's looked really good. You don't want to take away too many minutes from Tomani Kamara, who's looked pretty good for them. Okay, can we take like someone else from them to make this like a little bit easier? Like Chris Murray, who hasn't been very good. Just roll with me for a second. I just want to see this like financially, if this still works. Yeah, okay. You need to cut another $300K. So no, let's not do Chris Murray or anything anyway. So this trade might not be the worst, considering what guys are going for nowadays. The Bulls basically just traded Zach LaVine for like no draft assets whatsoever, right? We just saw Luka Doncic go for 1 first-round pick. DeAndre Ayton might just go for a 2025 second right now. Again, DeAndre Ayton's kind of a negative asset to the Trailblazers anyway, so we get them off them. They actually get a good player in Hachimura. Again, DeAndre Ayton's a solid player, but I'm trying to justify this too much, and I'm trying to figure out if this makes sense, because the trade standards are changing so quickly right now. It's really, really hard to like decipher kind of what makes sense right now and what doesn't, but I don't think this is like so bad. Again, this gives them the flexibility at center to go play Clingan. And I think that that's the most important thing for them right now, because there's a direct correlation between DeAndre Ayton being off the court and Scoot Henderson playing better. Scoot Henderson plays with Clingan or Robert Williams or even Reith. He plays infinitely better. Like we're talking like 17, 18 points a game type of dude, and the assists go up to like 6 or 7 assists a game. So I think you just have to move Ayton off the roster for the sake of your younger guys. You still free up in cap at the same time, but at least it's spaced out a little bit more. And look, they can go cut someone else like Ryan Rupert or something like that. And I know some people freak out because he had a little bit of a streak there. Relax. Not every young player is going to be something. Okay, it's just how it is. So I think this is the first trade that we make. We give up our second round pick, which is it's tough, but you know what? This is what we have to do. We get a center, right? And I think it's worth it because look, we got off of Vanderbilt's contract as well, which he could have been somewhat helpful. We're still maintaining that 2-year timeline, right? Like if Ayton doesn't work out, we just let him walk anyway. It's not a big deal, right? We're on the same exact timeline, and the upside of DeAndre Ayton is probably worth exploring, right? Plus Ayton's the same draft class as Luka. That's kind of funny how it all comes back together. Okay, so this is what we're doing. So we got rid of Rui here. We got rid of Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt. We now have DeAndre Ayton on the team. Shout out the spreadsheet and everything for this. And then we also took back Jabari Walker here, who, you know, whatever. So we're going to move Dorian Finney-Smith up here. Jared Vanderbilt is no longer on the team here. We don't need Dorian Finney-Smith here, so let's just move Markieff Morris. Honestly, no, it's more so a Jabari Walker right here. So there we go for that. Who else is no longer on the team? We no longer have a backup point guard outside of Bronny James, who, you know, is the next coming. But, okay, so then Ayton moves into the starting lineup. That's fine. We put Jackson Hayes here, and then obviously it becomes like Maxi Kleba whenever he's back, and then Christian Wood. Okay, and we no longer have this second-round pick. So now we have freed up a little bit of space as well. We've freed up a little bit of cap space. We need to make another move or something like that. Who else can we realistically move? Like Cam Reddish? Interesting younger player, right? To maybe somebody, and look, he's a 1-year smaller contract. Fair enough, right? What team has some cheaper contracts that we could take on and we could make something happen here? We need a point guard. You know what team has a lot of point guards now that I'm thinking about it? Oh, my very own Chicago Bulls get into things. There's no way we can do Alonzo Ball. There's no way. I don't think we can do a Kobe White necessarily, because how much money do we have actually to work with? So we've got Markieff Morris, who we can't move. So we've got Cam Reddish, Jackson Hayes, maybe Shake Milton, Christian Wood. We do have one roster spot open right now, which is what we wanted to have, and that's good. I'm not trading Austin Reeves for another point guard. I'd rather have it like this right now. This is honestly a fine starting lineup. This isn't bad at all. I mean, you got Luka and LeBron, and Ayton's at least talented. You got competency here. Bench looking a little bit suspect. I'm glad Connect could get some more minutes. I can survive with Jackson Hayes as the backup center because, again, Luka should elevate him a little bit. At least Jabari Walker's not somebody I feel great about, and obviously not Markieff Morris. So what can we do? What can we do? Because we don't have any picks we can realistically give them at this point. So, look, the Bulls have infinite number of point guards, right? Infinite number of point guards. So can we just, what might interest them? Like Cam Reddish is probably more interesting to them than having, where is he? Javon Carter at this point, right? And he's on a 2-year. It's not a bad contract. Javon Carter, historically good defender, can shoot the ball a little bit. So maybe we do something like that to start, is like a Javon Carter, Cam Reddish swap. They get off the money a little bit sooner if you're the Bulls too. So at least that makes some sense right there. So we've saved them some money right here, right? Because they're also an over-the-cap team, right? Okay, so yeah, that makes some sense right there. Does that work in and of itself? It doesn't, so we need to cut another $1.3 million. Okay, that can be done. That can be done. So now Christian Wood is making 3 years on a minimum right here. And so we can use this same leverage with the Bulls because, again, we're freeing up cap space for them, right? So we're like, hey, you don't have to pay Javon Carter going forward. What is Javon Carter's contract situation looking like after this? So after this next year, he has a player option, okay, which he probably intends to keep. So they can just get off the money altogether by having these two guys just on the minimum. Christian Wood's hurt anyway. They don't need to play him whatsoever. They can play Jalen Smith, and well, I'm guessing Vucevic will be gone, and Zach Collins all they want. Then that's fine. Who else do we take back then? Because again, we're saving them some money by doing this. So we've cut $3 million, so we can take back like 2-ish. Is it the Torrey Craig or is it Talen Horton Tucker, who gives us another ball handler, right? And a guy that could play like the 2 a bit as well. Talen Horton Tucker's probably not a bad option. He's been a good shooter. He's played for the Lakers before, can handle the rock a little bit, but can also play without the basketball because, look, everybody else has had the basketball this year for Chicago. Is Torrey Craig an option? Because, look, they just don't play Torrey Craig at this point, right? So you send him over to the Lakers. Let me just see, because I'd rather have a position like this. That one works. Okay, so if Torrey Craig works, I'd rather take back Torrey Craig than Talen Horton Tucker. The Bulls can have their little team of point guards at the end of the day. So why do the Bulls take this, right? It does save them money at the end of the day, which is good, right? We've saved them some money, and they also get off their money a little bit sooner. We get back some players that can help us play right now, and also they're within the 2-year timeline. I think that makes a ton of sense here. Is it the biggest trade in the world? Not necessarily, but you know what? We made it happen. So now Christian Wood is now Javon Carter, which fine by me. And now Cam Reddish is, who do we just take back? That's now Torrey Craig right here. And way, oh, we're close. We are close. We are close. Yeah, look at that, 481. Yeah, it's close enough. So numbers are a little bit skewed somewhere, but haven't hit that second apron yet. So now we can move Javon Carter up here to the backup point guard, so at least that's serviceable, and we can move these fellas down, so we at least have Torrey Craig as an option. At least he's going to be a bigger wing, can hit a 3 if we need him to. Fair enough. Oh yeah, Christian Wood no longer here. We didn't give up any more draft picks. Cam Reddish also not here anymore. So now starting lineup looks competent, right? Looks more than competent, because we have Luka and LeBron out on the court. Reeves, nice option. DeAndre Ayton, let's turn him into something good, right? Like, let's see it. Let's see Olympic DeAndre Ayton, where he is more of like a lob threat at times, even though he still likes to ISO at the free throw line a lot. Dorian Finney-Smith, nice starter. Backups, Javon Carter, I can live with that. Shake Milton, I can live with it. It's not great. Don't connect, yeah, well, that's cool. Torrey Craig, meh. Jackson Hayes, again, should be better with Luka on the team, and Austin Reeves is a good pick and roll player as well. Look, we only have so much to work with, right? Now we still have an open roster spot. So what are we doing with it is the problem. Is it's going to take us into the second apron if we do that, right? So I'm going to say logically for now, we don't do anything else. Because, look, we could go to free agency, sign someone else. This might just end up being the roster because of the second apron rules and stuff like that. But hey, maybe something else becomes available or something like that. But because we're riding the second apron line so much, I think this is just where we have to stop things for now. But at least this roster's now a little bit more complete, right? I know this isn't as extensive of a video as before, but look, a lot of the moves have been made already. Luka Doncic is on the team. Don't you complain, Lakers fans. If I see a Lakers fan being like, oh, I don't like this or whatever, I'd rather have Clint Capella. Fine. Go get Clint Capella. Why not? Why can't I speak? The Hawks. I couldn't remember their name. The Hawks. They know what they're trying to do, right? The Hawks are trying to potentially blow things up, so they're probably going to do more of a bidding war or something like that, whereas the Blazers are actually desperate to get rid of Ayton, right? So, I don't know. Plus, I think the upside of him is better than Clint Capella, right? So let's try it. It's 2 years. We've maintained our 2-year timeline. The only guys we have on the roster after 2 seasons are Luka, Austin Reeves, which you can live with. Don't connect. That's fine. Shake Milton's not guaranteed. And then technically Bronny isn't guaranteed after the second season, I know anyway. So this is fine. We kept our 2031 first-round pick. This is great. We didn't go into the second apron. This is fine. This is at least a competent roster. JJ Redick can at least work with this. Maybe he can turn DeAndre Ayton into a defensive player. We know he's a good lob threat and everything. He's big as hell and strong and can jump and all of that. So I think this is good. I think this is good right here. I'd be happy with this. But hey, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. By the way, I'm recording this early Monday morning. As you can see, it's about 9 a.m. right now. And so if something happens before then, fair enough. Then it happens. Maybe I'll put this out later in the day or something like that. I don't know. Or I'll just release it early Tuesday, because who knows when the next trade is going to go down. But I don't know. I'll figure that out. But hey, let's go do the comment of the video. All right, the comment of the video comes from my De'Aaron Fox trade to the Spurs, Zach LaVine to the Kings. I know. And it's this comment again here from Drew A. Thomas, who said, my Pistons strike again. For those of you not keeping up, we've seen a correlation. The Pistons beat the Kings in a game and they fired Mike Brown, ultimate power. Then they went and beat the Mavericks, and the Mavericks couldn't handle the force of the Pistons. They traded Luka Doncic, and then they beat the Bulls yesterday and they traded Zach LaVine for nothing. The Pistons winning is a glitch in the matrix, I'm telling you guys, and it's causing nonsense. We need to look ahead at the schedule for the Pistons and start betting on stuff there. That's the only way to do it. And by the way, just a quick heads up for you guys. I tell you guys I respond to every single comment. And I do. I really, really do. But for whatever reason, I don't get to see all of your comments always. So what I basically do, this is a little background into things. I can go to my community tab here in my YouTube studios, and I can basically say comments I haven't responded to. I have to respond to these 2 comments right here. But sometimes they don't show up, and I have to kind of go and manually look through. So if I don't reply, it's because for whatever reason, YouTube is hiding you from me. I promise you, I'm trying to get to every single comment. I respond to every single one if I can. So if not, not, I don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing on YouTube to get shadow banned, you sneaky, sneaky devils. But anyway, I appreciate you guys as always, and let's enjoy this trade deadline. Thanks so much.